Shadow over Ravensburg. Introduction. Deep within the black forest, where the trees loomed high and the fog never lifted, stood the grim city of Ravensburg. Encircled by towering stone walls, darkened with age and ceaseless rain, the city lived under a shadow, not of war or plague, but of something far older. On the hill overlooking the town lay the ruins of Hagenstein Castle. No one dared speak of it, yet all knew that when night fell, voices whispered from within the broken stone walls. Some murmured, some pleaded, and others laughed. The inciting incident. For years, the people of Ravensburg avoided the ruins, but then a child disappeared. Gretel, the blacksmith's daughter. Her footprints led toward the hill, yet no one had the courage to follow them. Faced with growing terror, Baron Gottfried, the city's ruler, assembled a search party. 4 guards, a hunter, and a monk. Their task was clear: discover the truth behind the ruins and bring the girl home. The night was deep when they entered the castle remains. The stones were deathly cold, and the air carried a damp, sickly sweet scent. The monk was the first to notice it. The walls were breathing. First twist, in the great hall they found a nightmare. At the center lay what was once Gretel. Her body was charred, yet her lips were stretched into a grotesque grin. Her hollow eyes stared into nothingness. Around her, ancient symbols had been scratched into the stone floor. Symbols no one recognized, symbols that felt wrong. The hunter stepped closer, and the walls trembled. One of the guards let out a blood-curdling scream, clutching his head as black blood seeped from his mouth and eyes. Another turned to flee but never made it. A shapeless shadow burst from the ground and wrapped around him. Within moments, only a hollowed-out shell of armor remained. Gottfried gripped his sword, his voice firm despite the dread curling in his stomach. "Who is here?" The answer came in Gretel's voice. "We've been waiting for you, Baron." The revelation from the darkness stepped a figure, a man, or what had once been one. Tall, skeletal, with parchment-like skin stretched over jagged bones. His eyes burned with an unnatural amber glow. "You," Gottfried began, but the creature silenced him with a smile. "I was the first lord of these walls, Gottfried. When you came to this city, you believed Hagenstein was merely ruins. You were wrong." The whispering voices within the walls grew louder. The Baron's breath caught. He had heard the legends, the curse of the Hagen bloodline, the whispers of their terrible end. No one knew what had truly happened to the last lord of the castle, but there had always been rumors. Rumors that he had brought something back from the void. Gottfried's grip tightened around his sword. "Did you kill the girl?" The creature chuckled. "I merely opened her eyes." The ground trembled, and the altar beneath the ruins erupted with a pulsating crimson light. The climax, Gottfried ordered his men to strike. The guards lunged, but their blades passed through the creature, as though slicing through mist. From its back, a black tendril shot forth, wrapping around one warrior's throat. He let out a strangled cry before his bones snapped like dry twigs. The monk fell to his knees, whispering prayers, but his voice was cut short as invisible hands crushed his throat. The Baron realized they were doomed. There was only one thing left to do. With a swift motion, he threw himself upon the altar, plunging his dagger deep into his own heart. The darkness shrieked. The creature roared in fury and rushed toward him. But it was too late. Gottfried's blood seeped into the ancient stone, and the ruins trembled. The walls crumbled. The shadows twisted and howled, as if being torn apart from within. The monstrous being disintegrated into dust, its tendrils snapping like dying embers. The conclusion. Gottfried collapsed, blood pooling around him, but he smiled. The city was free. As the first morning light broke through the clouds, Hagenstein Castle collapsed into rubble. The townspeople, upon venturing to the hill, found only one thing among the ruins: the Baron's broken sword embedded in the earth. Never again were voices heard in Ravensburg, but sometimes on the windiest nights, if one listened carefully, the air still carried a whisper: "We are waiting."